Out here we are going to see these particular qualities, uh, what Vijayadashmi means, win over 10 bad qualities. Vijayadashmi is basically Dashera, and it is observed in different for different reasons and celebrated in different parts of the Indian subcontinent. In southern and eastern, Vijayadashmi marks the end of Durga Puja, remembering goddess Durga victory over buffalo demon Mahishasur to help restore dharma. In the northern western states, the festival is synonymously called Dashera, also spelled Dasera. In this region, it marks the end of Ramlila and remembers God Rama victory over Ravana. Uh, and these are the qualities basically which brought the downfall in Ravana: ego, cruelty, injustice, lust, anger, greed, pride, jealousy, attachment, and selfishness. And these qualities we are going to basically see on a particular hand one by one. First, we are going to see ego. The finger, this is the sun finger. Whenever this finger is very long, uh, by long we mean that this is the longest finger, the Saturn finger, and when it's reaching nearly very close uh, to the second finger, it basically brings an ego. And such people are very egoistic kind of people. If the third finger is very long and almost reaching as close to the second finger, uh, and it's a bad sign to have. Ego basically uh, is a negative quality, and and it can also be seen if the area under the mount of Saturn, it's badly marked, like there's this crisscrossing line kind of lines. Crisscrossing kind of line basically reduces a quality of a particular mount. Out here we basically see the carrier also, and if there are too many crisscrossing lines, there could be that person could have like ego in him. So this is a negative quality. The second is cruelty. To see if a person is cruel, it can be seen if the hand is extremely hard, very hard kind. Like when you touch the hand, it feels like you're holding a particular rock. So if the hand is extremely hard, it might bring it might make a person very cruel. Very soft hands are basically sensual hands. Very hard hands are hands that are basically hardworking, but extremely hard might also make a person cruel. At the same time, the heart line also might might be something starting under the Saturn, and the headline might be extremely straight. So these also qualities might make a person with less of emotions. If the heart line is long, it makes a person emotional. If the heart line is short, it might make a person who's absent, who has who's lacking in emotions. So probably this could be said regarding cruelty. Regarding injustice, to see injustice, we basically might see if injustice is lack of fairness or being just. A person who might have the like who might have a very strong or very prominent kind of mount of Venus, or super strong Mars or super strong Jupiter. All these things might make a person unjust, but it's going to be seen in different aspects. Like if the person desires too much of love and too much of the person desires too much of luxuries, so he would not think about other people. he would just want to have everything with him, and this might create injustice. Or if uh, the heartline is somewhere like the heartline is somewhere wavy kind, it might also make a person unjust. If the headline is also wavy, it might make a person just unjust. And uh, this is one quality which is hard to describe on the hand. Then we see basically lust. Lust can be of money. Lust can be of luxuries or food, or too much of clothes. All these things basically can be seen. If the amount of Venus is super developed, it might make a person uh, who uh, who is lusting uh, for sex, or a person who is lusting for good food or good clothes, and just he's wanting more and more and more. So it's a never ending process. If the amount of Jupiter is super developed or has got bad markings over it, the lust is going to be towards power, like it's uncontrolled. If the amount of Venus, or sorry, if the amount of Saturn is disturbed, or the line of heart is totally ending under it, it might make a person lust towards towards money. Although association of the heartland with the Saturn is not considered to be bad, because it also brings in responsibility. So we can't say with certainty that the person is surely lusting. If the heartline is ending on the amount of Saturn, the person could also be responsible and wise, and all these qualities can also be there. So various the, in various ways lust can come. Then we move on to anger. Anger basically comes from two or three areas. This If this area is disturbed, this is the area of Mars, and this is the center of the Mars, and this is Mars. This is the outer Mars. This is the inner Mars. So this basically is the area of aggression and fire. So if there are too many lines over it crisscrossing, and then the person might get angry, super angry. This is the area of temper. So too many lines over it crisscrossing uh, might make a person lose his temper. And this is the area of coolness and calmness, a real warrior. So if there are too many lines over it, it might make the person might lose his temper. So all these things we see for anger. And sometimes if the amount of Venus is very less developed, so probably the uh, person might get angry because he's lacking in energy. That's why he's getting angry, because he's not able to do certain things. So this might bring in anger. Or if this area is disturbed, this is the area of Mercury. If this area is disturbed like this, the person would be confused, and he might make wrong decisions, and that might lead to anger. So we have to see what in which way the person gets angry. And now we see greed. Greed can be seen if again association of Venus and Saturn. If the heart is totally ending under it, it might make a person greedy, and the person would want more and more and more possessions and money. The lust never basically goes out. And this is also the area of desires. So if it's highly developed, the desires are in extreme. Or even if the area is not well padded and developed, it might have too many lines over it. So again, it might bring in the negative qualities. And we go back to this was greed. Then pride. Pride basically, how do we describe pride? Pride is feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievement, the achievement of one's choice, close associate, or from qualities or possession that are widely admired. Pleasure, joy, delight, gratification, fulfillment, satisfaction, all these things. A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievement. If the person achieves something and there's too much of it, again it brings in negative quality. So this quality, a reasonable pride can be seen if the mount of Jupiter is developed, but if it's overdeveloped, the person is likely to be, if the headline is like going backwards out here, or the main lifeline is originating from somewhere from here, the person might have pride. So again, this if it is in excess, might lead to a downfall. Reasonable amount is good, but excess is something which is not considered to be good. Again, jealousy. See, for jealousy we see the heart line. The heart line, if it is starting from one end, if it is starting from one end to the other, it might make a person jealous. And jealous not necessarily towards money part, but jealousy even in emotions like attachments. If your friend goes out and talks to another person, you might feel jealous. So this is excess. When the heart line starts from here and ends on the mount of Jupiter, it might lead to jealousy, or if it has got too many branches over it, like this, again jealousy. So one thing is that. The other is attachment. Attachment can be seen if the heart line, this is the heart line, if it has got too many branches over it, and these branches, if they are super strong, these are branches that are kind of hanging onto your physical heart, and if they are hanging to your physical heart, it's going to strain you, and it's going to create anxiety and stress, and it might lead to lower performance due to anxiety and stress in your life. So a small amount of branches on the heart line, very small, are okay. Although if a person has got a deep and clear singular kind of a line without any branches, that is much better compared to even the smaller branches. So it's attachment is something which is very major, and this might bring a downfall because they are getting distracted, or they're getting attached to a situation or attached to people, and it can be explained very well by Gita. Gita says, be in the moment without having expectation of the outcome. Don't carry the baggage of the past. Be in the present, and work towards it. These branches over the heart line also means getting distracted in your relationship or your work, or supposing you do something for your children and they're not performing to your expectations. So again, basically, because you're attached to it, you're getting stressed up. So attachment is a negative trait. Detachment is a positive trait. Detachment is being in the moment without having expectation of the outcome. Then selfishness. Selfishness again can be seen on the heart line. If the heart line is purely associated on the mount of Saturn, it might make a person extremely selfish. Although these indication can be seen also in the hands of saints also, but association of Saturn can bring extreme qualities. Like in one way, you can be responsible towards everybody, like as for doing public good, but at the same time, if you are only centered around yourself, it might bring in selfishness. So these are the negative qualities I have tried to describe. I might be wrong, but that's how it is. If we delete all these qualities, or we contain these qualities in our life, these qualities might bring downfalls. So better to like contain them, and that's how you're going to be successful. uh, Thanks for watching this particular video. If you like this particular video, click on the like button and do subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching. Bye, take care.